He just flips that around, puts it back on his stand. He's got 4 different groovers here, different width blades.
Today we got something a little different. I came by Goforth Tire and met with Scott Goforth. If you see anything behind me back there and you know anything about wheeling, those are sticky SXs. He's got a lot of them, and I believe I'm going to be leaving here with a set myself. Scott is the man when it comes to sticky tires. Anyone that asks on the line, on forums, anything comes up, where can I get sticky tires? Scott is the man. That's the #1 name that comes up. So I want to take a moment, come by here and ask him some questions, get to know him, and take a little shop tour. All right, doing something a little different this time. I'm actually here with Scott Goforth, Goforth Tire. Everybody that is in the off-roading, when you think sticky tires, Scott is the guy, the name that comes up on all the forums, Facebook groups, everything. And I'm pretty close by, so I thought I'd come by here for this new series I'm doing with In the Shop. I'm gonna meet up with certain builders and Wide Open Design and Jake Berkey, Matt Cutler. While I'm in those areas, when I get out west, I'm gonna meet up with others. Since Scott's the tire guy, since I was close by, I came by. We got a dude sitting here grooving tires while we're talking.
The Donnie Miller. It's kind of my sidekick. He goes about everywhere with me and he grooves everybody's tires. And these are 8-time championship winning tires here. Timmy Cameron's put it on them with them tires there for several years. Wade Good and all the others.
Yeah, when you see a groove tire, this is where it comes from. Just a little shop, and there's totes full of rubber and just a pile sitting around this stuff. So, well, obviously the off-road stuff's not really your bread and butter.
You know, we do all tires, from wheelbarrows to earth movers, or off-road stuff. Mostly stickies on my part. My dad runs the other side.
So how'd you get to buying off-road tires at this quantity?
Back when I was young, probably 10 or 11 years old, Dad had access to Denman, and he had the first set of 1844s in the area, and sold them, and the dude's check bounced. So he went after him, and it ended up being a chop shop in the middle of the night with me and my sister and my mom following him in a truck he had won to repossess these tires. Pretty sketchy situation. But he got his tires back, and then, we kind of just, went from there with the big tires and off-road stuff. And I've always been into this and slinging mud and tearing stuff up. And so, Steve Woosley come to me in 2012 and asked me if I get these tires, and I didn't even know they existed at the time. And I said, yeah, I'll try. And I got them and sent them to him. And he climbed that hill out there in Oklahoma, the Showgirl Hill, with them. And everybody just started getting their tires from me. And then I went racing in 16, won the King of the Hammers, and it just snowball effect.
So you actually raced in King of the Hammers?
Yeah, I won the shootout in 2016.
Cool. That's awesome.
And we was back in 17th with our place in the top 10, but got hung up on the last ledge at the waterfall, and luck of the draw.
So you sponsor Southern Rock Racing Series?
I have for the last since 2012. I haven't this year yet. Me and Clyde just hadn't come to an agreement. Things are growing, and we're growing, and I just finished a new house build, so yeah, there's some other things factoring in right now.
Yeah,
so
life's had you busy. It's almost distracting for me to watch this dude just rip these tires from the guys like me that have done it with a chainsaw and some of the cheaper tire groovers. I never really seen one in person work that well.
This set's actually for Jake Berkey, one of his builds, and then the next set's for Brandon Davis. We all know Brandon Davis's buggy. And Mr. Consistency. And then they've got a set for Cooper Bentley after that, and Jerry Gray after that. So he'll be here for a minute.
Man's just gonna sit here and groove them tires.
He grooves till he can't hold his arms up.
What about so me and you, before we start filming, had some discussion about the Mickey Thompson Baja, the XSs and everything. What about the USD stickies? One of my buddies, Scott, and this is for you. wanted to know if you was going to start carrying the USD
I've
stickies.
tried. They won't even talk to me about them, and I'm just not a big fan. He's cut some of them, and it's more or less a farm compound. I don't know that they're just 100% a sticky, but most people in our game that goes to them kind of bounces back to this. I mean, they look good. They're gnarly looking. He's done a good job of that, but just I don't know. He don't want me to change it or cut them up or anything like that. But the one set we did cut for Tantrum that Jake Berkey built, he even comments that was gnarly.
Okay. That, I wouldn't want to. I want to put you in a position with different brands or whatever, and we can cut this out if you don't want to. But it does seem like everybody that gets away from the SXs, like we talked about earlier, goes back to it.
Right. Well, it's proven. People think the grass is green on the other side, but Interco's the way to go. I mean, it's just proven fact.
Yeah.
That's
where I'm at. Like, I had the rig before. I had 39-inch BFGs on there. They were blues. They were not reds. They did all right for what it was.
Yeah.
And my buddy Derek bought Treps from you, and he ran those for about 2 years, sold them when they were about half tread, and moved to the 43-inch SXs, which he got from you. And it's just no comparison. Right. I love Treps. I think it's a fantastic tire. I'd choose that over a red all day long, but it's no comparison to an SX.
It all depends on where you're at. The red shine like in Sand Hollow and Moab, stuff like that, because it's a little tighter, tread compound. And they just turn to glue once you get them warm. This one's a little bit more goofy. I think what takes away from the performance. So if you take a 39 red or a 42 red, they're a lot less sidewall. So it I think it performs a little better because you've got less here.
Yeah.
And it don't roll under extreme, air pressure,
flatter contact
deflation.
patch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I get to Sand Hollow, if you want to make me a believer in reds, I'd love to try your set for the weekend, and we'll go with.
But I just think the sidewall, these things, when you try to air them down 2 or 3 pound of air pressure to crawl out there, they want to waller around. I think you lose some traction. Where the reds, the sidewall's a lot shorter, so you've got a little better performing tires.
Yeah. Well, and here in the Southeast, Tennessee, Harlan, all the different places
we're gonna bust them before we ever get through the weekend.
Yeah, and you just need the sidewall because
to wrap around the rocks and stuff.
If you've never wheeled on the East Coast, like you don't just pick your line and go with it. You pick your line, but you might not stick to that line.
Yeah, it goes for the.
It takes a lot of skinny pedal a lot of times because every good rock has a mud hole.
It's usually greasy, yes.
Yeah, last time I went out with snow, so King of the Hammers, anything like that in the future for you again?
I don't think so. I think it'd be disappointed if I went back after the first time. I mean, I was, the second trip was awesome. I had my wife and child with me, and it was awesome. We got to stop and see all the sights, and we took our time out there, and then I took our time back, and it was just a great getaway. And the outcome wasn't as good because I didn't win, but
But you finished, right?
Oh yeah, I finished top 10. Yeah,
I think to me just to finish King of the Hammers would be.
Well, now it was a shootout, so it was the Monday night shootout. It wasn't the big race. So.
Yeah, my buddy Justin Wheels, you know that name?
Oh yeah,
he competed out there. I don't think he's going. I texted him the other night.
I don't think he's ready yet.
It's mesmerizing to sit here and watch this dude cut these tires.
Oh, he's an artist. Clayton Hollingsworth showed up at Stony Lonesome one time at a Southern Rock Racing event, and I was over there looking at the tires, and I said, "Who cut these?" He said, "A guy named Donnie Miller," and he gave me his number. And he said, "What you need to do is just call Donnie, tell him to come down here and cut tires." And ever since then, that's where he made a trip back and forth a couple of times. He lives in Kentucky, but he's got a camper here now, so he comes down, stays a week or two, and gets the tires cut. And
how long does it take you to do that one tire?
Usually around 4.5 hours. On a good day, I've done 2 hours.
Yeah.
So you wind up with a day's work in 2 tires, basically.
Right. But there's a big difference in the weight and the way the sidewall wrinkles and just the traction. I mean, that's by far the.
How much weight is coming off of this tire?
About 38 pounds, ain't it?
Yep. Okay. And then you got the massive voids and everything. I imagine it makes the carcass flex a lot better as well.
Oh, it does a lot better.
Well, why don't you just get him to cut mine while we're here, and I don't have to buy a new set.
Right.
So how many sets of tires do you think you sell in stickies?
I have that number.
Oh, that's cool.
I have that number.
Because I don't know if it's like this on West Coast and stuff, but somebody be like, "Where's the best place to get stickies?" Which to me is shocking that people even ask that question anymore on the East Coast. But you get tagged like 100 times.
In the last 4 years, I've sold 4,000.
Okay, 4,000 sets of
Give or
stickies.
take a few. It was 822 last year because they didn't have none. But the year before was 1122, so it kind of
Yeah.
evens out.
Well, I know.
And I get about 98% of them because I'm 2 hours from the manufacturing facility, and they'd rather ship here. But we got people like Stephen Monpas and Jake Berkey gets some. But they come from here, and I do real good at supplying him what he needs.
Yeah, there's been some times where you haven't had the SXs or whatever.
They're always on order. Soon I got 200 supposed to be in here December, which did not happen at all. And then we've got 60 and 16 in the last week. 64 and 16, so about 80 tires. So maybe we'll get some more in the next day or two, and we'll be able to get all these back orders took care of.
So you want to explain that a little better for people that might get a little frustrated or something? If you feel like
let me grab my list. I don't want people to see this.
You know, sometimes you call up here and I've heard it amongst my circles. Well, he ain't got none, and I'm on some list, and he's supposed to call me back, and you know. Coming from a construction supply background, you can't do anything about delays and back orders. But
this is an active list. This is an active list. I don't know. That's inch thick.
Yeah, I'd say that's an inch thick.
People want to know where they're at on the list. Alvin Miller. I mean, David Rosnott, Alan Woodson, Brick Goodman. You're right there. When it's raining, I can't make these pallets because I don't have room inside to make them because I got too many tires inside. So I kind of have to just pick my battles there and go. And Justin Horton, he's been asking.
He actually found a set, I believe.
Did he?
And when you see this, Justin and Derek, I know you'll be like, you should have grabbed me some spares while you were there. I talked about it. I literally just don't have room on the truck, or I would take them with me.
Yeah, I think Justin bought trips.
No, he bought some SXs.
Okay. Ed Bendall. I mean, he's in there.
Yep.
PTC transmissions. Can't miss him. Jared Huffman. Out of Chattanooga, ALP guy. Married to Jessica Huffman. There's he is right there in order. I mean, everybody's here. Nobody gets missed. Now, look, when I call you, I know you got jobs and other things to do, stuff like that. I usually write the time and date down, and I'll send a text if I have time, and I try my best to fulfill the list. Now, after this list is fulfilled, which should be fine, they made another mold, so they're going to have 2 molds running. But that's not been the problem. The mold, they ain't had B material. So all 17-inch tires at Interco has been up in the air. We don't know when they're coming. Don't know. They just show up. So the 43 non-stickies been out for a long time. I've got those. I've got the Mickey Thompsons and stuff like that, and they're all built in the same facility. So it's just kind of like a terminal thing, supply chain.
It's been like that across the board with so many things.
It's more than just tires.
Oh, yeah.
Justin Wheels, he's right there, halfway.
Yep.
So, but this is an active list. I work on it every day. We've been pumping out 3 or 4 sets a day. I normally can knock out every tire I got in one day, but not here lately. I've just got my house done, and I'm requiring all my attention at the time to get contractors to do what they say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a mess. And then I've got a complete mud hole.
Yeah.
And then I'm not trying to track it in gravel and pavement and concrete. I mean, I'm just.
Yep. So if you don't know, Goforth Tire is in Kodak, Tennessee, right outside Sevierville. I'm staying in the area I leave Wednesday. I'm go to Windrock, but it rains here every 2 days or something. Just as soon as it dries out
for the half of the day, and then it's frigid outside. You can't even stand behind.
Yeah, every time it starts to dry out, it rains again.
Yeah,
I'm ready to go where it doesn't rain so much. I love rainy weather, but I've had about enough of it.
Well, if you could lay around under a tin roof, it'd be great.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work and whatever, and
I live in a 300 square foot box with 2 kids and 2 dogs.
Right.
You know, I like to listen to it for about 30 minutes, and then I'm like, y'all need to go outside.
Right.
Is there anybody else that gets tires at the volume that you do?
No. Stephen Monpas, he's in Oregon, Washington State. Excuse me if I'm misquoting that, Stephen. But he got 40, and then there was a place in Michigan got 40, I think. But
Yeah.
now their orders are 6 months old.
Yeah.
Well, my orders are always active because I always have them on order, and I just, when I got the 60 in, I ordered 200 more.
Yeah. Just go ahead and have it ready because
So,
those will be gone.
Yeah. I normally, I can push through 60, 80 tires a day, which makes it for a phenomenal day. But you're at the end of the day,
Yeah. Yeah.
you don't even know your name. But here just in the last couple of weeks, I've been taking my time, and we've had to mount a lot, and then we had all these ones to cut. We just now got enough where we could cut everybody's tires to be cut. And these racers have got races coming up, so that kind of precedes some other orders, but they're in line too,
Yeah, you want to take care of your racers.
Bentley's dad, Aaron's been contacting me every other week, and I got to get him a set of tires. He's over the Mickeys and blah, 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 and,
going back to the SXs like we talked about.
He's got the money shot buggy there, and Brandon Davis, he's due a set. He gets a set every year, and he's real good about keeping them up and keeping them aired up and not busting them and whatnot.
Yeah, the freeze thaw cycles on these tires are not too great.
Well, especially over 9 years.
9 years. Yeah, my tires are old.
My suggestion, if you got a trail rig like yours, to run them 6-8 months, a year at the most, and trade them in, and you lose $1,500, and get a new set. And I can sell them as soon as I put them. So the used tires, they don't sell it.
Yeah. Oh, there'll be somebody that'll want those that just can't afford a new set, and working guys, and I'm like that. It's not in my budget to buy a new set of tires. I can, but I don't want to.
He just flips that around, puts it back on his stand. He's got 4 different groovers here, different width blades, different depth blades, different brands of cutters. Some of the Rima cutters get in the swap a little easier. He's got all of them modified, just like a race car. He souped them up and modified the heads.
Look at that pile of rubber right there. That don't count what's in this tote. Is this all off of this tire?
No, that's those 2. And then first there's 2 there.
So is that over there? What we're shooting? Is that what this is going to become?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's get over here. This side is done. All to wind up looking like this. Which, if you're watching this channel and you don't really understand why, these voids give you more traction, plus they let this carcass flex more. You can check out the busted knuckle films or Mad Ram 11 to see what these tires get used for the most. A good example, this is what come out of there.
That's one swap. That's one push through.
One swipe. Yeah, and you just... But look how flexible that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a sticky compound for you. Hope you enjoyed the first of this series called In the Shop. I didn't record a proper outro for this, but I'm real excited about what's to come. I'm going to sit down with Matt Cutler, Cutler Fab, Adam at Wide Open Design, Partially Committed Racing, and people that build turnkey rigs and a little bit in between. So let me know below if you like this stuff. Hit that like button, and thank you for checking this out. Really hope you enjoyed it.